When Google and AI are trying to steer you away from something you're researching, you know you're on the right track. And I know you're not supposed to trust AI and Google. So, just recently, I heard a theory that leaded gasoline was the cause of serial killers. I immediately pushed back on that because I feel like a lot of them are MK Ultra subjects. Not all of them, but I think a lot of the high profile ones, possibly. Now, leaded gasoline was introduced in the United States in 1923, but the widespread lead poisoning didn't happen right away. And it spread widely after World War II, mainly because cars became a huge deal in the 40s and 50s. And the theory states that children born between 1945 and 65 had the greatest amount of lead poisoning. Therefore, when they came of age between the 60s and the 80s is when we saw the serial killers. And there's researchers that theorize that the 20 years of the rise and fall of leaded gasoline is when you also see a rise and fall in violent crime, with the 60s through the 80s being peak violent crime and serial killer activity. And then 90s onward, the lead drops and so does crime rates. Now, here's the part where I think this theory kind of falls apart. Lead exposure damages the developing brain. And it is proven that during the time that we use leaded gasoline that on average IQ rates dropped. And this leaded gasoline damages specifically the prefrontal cortex, affecting impulse control, aggression, and decision making. To me, that does not sound like serial killers. They're usually intelligent and calculated, not someone who can't control their emotions. And yes, they can't control their urge to kill, but they're not wildly aggressive and out of control. They're methodical. So I tried to compare and contrast the MK Ultra angle versus the lead gasoline angle, and this is where the AI and Google basically was trying to gaslight me into believing that no, it's only leaded gasoline that caused serial killers, which is kind of humorous in and of itself because that is still just a theory. But it totally wanted me to believe that that is the cause. Now, I am not saying that government mind control is why we have serial killers. But you cannot dismiss the patterns and the similarities and the coincidences that come with a lot of these well-known guys. So yes, while I do believe that leaded gasoline did cause us to lose a couple IQ points and probably did lead to a lot of aggressive people that ended up in prison, I do not believe it's the cause of serial killers, let alone the only cause. Same as I don't believe that government programs are the only cause. Some are a product of their environment. And others? Well, ask Ted Kaczynski. Thoughts?